Hello and welcome to how I play my level 105 Beastlord. So we're going to talk about spells, we're going to talk about buttons and all that nonsense and everything else. So let's get to it. So let's go right here. This is my combat dummy that we're going to be working with today. He is combat dummy Sana level 105. Alright, so we have the first spell here, Crom Tuss Lance. So this is our current level Lance spell, timer 11. Then we have Frozen Miasma, which is our current timer 14 spell, which does a both poison and cold nuke, whatnot. And then we have Visoracious Maelstrom, which is our current level timer 15. I'm very specific on these timers. This will do let's see what, poison, disease, and ice, and then duplicate one of those, right? So let's kind of take a look at these. These are the first three nukes, right? So let's go to spell damage on my tabs here. Let's clear all so we can see this. So Lance, 17,000 normal hit, right? Pretty nice with all the focuses and stuff we have. Miasma. There we go, we get a critical, which gives us poison and ice, both crit, so that's 38 and 33,000 each. That is insane. And then Maelstrom here, which is right here. So poison hit, disease hit, and that. So it doubled the poison and ice and disease. So it's not a nice little bit of damage we get out of those three. Next up we have Krieg's Bite, which is our current level bite spell, timer 6. You see this is just a, single target nuke, 68,000 crit, pretty nice. It's a, what is it, like 30-second reuse, near instant cast. Then we have Krink's Feralgia, which is our current level swarm pet plus offensive buff. So if we cast that, we're gonna get a little werewolf with a chance of a second werewolf, but it doesn't happen too often. And that allows us to do a lot of things, right? So we get, I believe we get a haste spell somewhere here, and something else. Like it's a nice little damage, plus some regen out of that too. Then we have Sabathat's Mending. This is our current level target-to-target heal. I use this as my last thing in my multibind. I talked about it before. I switch these last two spells just because the multibind doesn't hit that last one, but I can switch them and I can either get more damage by going with blood or more healing going with mending. And currently I need the extra healing, so I go with mending. Now, once I don't need the extra healing, I can switch back to more damage and get a little bit more damage out of this character. But it heals the target to target, so whoever's tanking the mob, that be that a player, pet, whatever, is going to get a 7,500 heal. Next up, we have Dichotomic Fury, which is our current progressive spell. Group buff, giving everybody HP, mana, endurance, increasing their damage mitigation, weapon speed, increasing their chance for you and your pet to perform flurry attacks. So it's a nice little group buff there, hits everybody. It's very expensive at 7,200 mana, but we do have abilities to help with mitigating that mana cost, so that's nice. Next up we have Glisten Wing Blood, which is our current level poison dot. Now, nothing lives long enough for me to actually get a few ticks out of this, but this does have a 13,000 initial damage, which makes it a nice little nuke that I just kind of spam. So when I want more damage, I swap that in there. You'll notice I did take out the call spell, which is the, I think, let me see if I can find it real quick. Let's see here, book 70. I don't know where we're at now. There we go. There we go. All right. Critchin's Call is the current level. So I used to have this one memmed. I replaced it with Fury. Now at level 106, we're gonna get another spell slot, and then so this will probably come back in. Then I do keep Merlis, the Ferocity always memmed and Aggression always memmed. I might be able to switch those out to my kind of buff macros here that I got going on, but I haven't decided yet. And then we have our timer 11 Roar spell here. Oh, wait, hold on. Whoa. We got a two. We got 2 roars. Oh, we got 2 timer 11s. That's. I just noticed that. That is terrible. All right, so we're gonna take this one out of the multi-bind then. I don't know why this. I feel like this wasn't on timer 11 before. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. All right, so there you go. Actually, let's do this. Let's switch that. Doing this live, right? Switch that. And then we'll switch this one. Damage over time, cold, Critchin's Call. All right, now we'll put this there. And that there. All right, that solves that problem. Yeah, I guess I didn't notice it. Seems to happen a lot. It doesn't really matter, but it happens a lot. Now, I don't know. Having this point blank AoE, you know, hit 30 mobs can be catastrophic to this character. So, you know, it's, you know, if you want to play it safe, you go with Lance, I guess, right here. And this is a single target. So we're going to play it safe right now. We're just going to take that one out, switch those around like that. And that works out a little better. Until I'm a little bit more confident with my AoE aggro with my Shadow Knight, I just can't do it. She dies instantly. Her gear is under geared right now. She's wearing, you know, level 95 gear in most slots. Weapons are a little better because that's just what I had laying around, some 105 weapons. So definitely good. We started upgrading to the, you know, Empire's Kunar gear, but it just doesn't drop enough to do that. So I'm gonna go with it that way for right now. Lance being my primary spell and just dropping Roar. So that's kind of the way we're going with that. With that change, now we have a Critchin's Call in, which is another it's an ice new or ice dot, but it has a initial damage, right? So it's going to get that little extra in there. We'll see when we do the multi-bind how that actually plays out. And then we have a shared Merciless Ferocity. This does not like ever get upgraded again, apparently. So we're going to keep this here. We're going to probably figure out where we need to go to get rank 3 and do that when we do the rank 3s for Wizard and the Mage for Twin Cast. So definitely a nice spell. So it does a attack debuff or a attack buff and all kinds of other stuff. It lasts for what, 26 minutes, so it's pretty good. And then we have aggression here. Now I believe this is a long duration spell, so I don't really need it there. I ran out. I didn't know what to put in the spell slot at one point in time, so that's what it is. I'm probably going to move it over here to one of these little buff buttons that I have set up. But this makes the pet more aggressive, more attack, more accuracy and stuff like that. Loses a little bit of armor class and health, but I don't think it really matters. In all honesty, I don't think it matters at this point. The mobs seem to not really kill him too fast. All right, so that's the spells I normally use. We did get a new Unity spell for the pet, which is Stormblood's Unity. That just casts our current level proc buff for the pet and his current level haste. Pretty nice there. We do use the current level border, which is Avalette. And then we have Mending Order. I guess I skipped over that completely in the spell list here. But this allows the pet to do a heal targeted heal over heal target spell, so that's kind of nice. getting a little bit more healing out of the pet and stuff like that. I also do Taste the Blood and Hobble of Spirits on the pet. These are 2 AAs. Taste the Blood gives it a chance if he gets a kill shot to get a little extra damage. And then Hobble of Spirits allows him to snare targets. Then we have the current level Spiritual Brawn, which is our HP buff, Vivification. And I believe I use that. Check here. Because I think I have it on, right? Yeah, Valency, right? So I have the level 125 one on right now, but that is, you know, a good HP buff in lieu of Brells from a Paladin. And then we have the current level Spiritual line, which is our mana regen, health regen spell. And then Spirit of Talatak, if we need that. But that is also cast by the Shaman, so I don't really need it as much. Now, that is all the spells. Let's talk about the hotbars and stuff. So we have our hide corpse macro. I do this on all my characters. Hides all the NPC corpses. Auto inventories anything in my hand, and forages. I like to forage. Not everybody does, but I like to do it on cooldown. So next up we have our assist. This character is multi-bound to both 5 and 4. So we are here. You can see all the key buttons on all my bars are bound to either 4 or 5. So if I push 4 or 5, either of them will activate. All nice and built into the client, so it's nice and fast. So you can see here, my assist macro is just X target 19, which is whatever my main tank is assisting, right? So I attack that. It's noticed a little ring under it when I click on it. So every character has the exact same extended target, and it just makes it so I don't have to do, you know, pause 5 comma assist, right? Like it's very slow to assist. This makes it pretty much near instant. So it saves time. And then I have attack on, pet attack, pet swarm. So swarm pets will attack whatever I change to. Pet will attack whatever I change to, and I'll make sure that my attack is on and I'm doing melee damage, right? And then when I push those, so we have a whole bunch of spells here. I do Dichotomic Fury, and then we do Lance, then we do Miasma, and then we do Bite, and then we do Feralgia, then we do Maelstrom, and then we have, we just switch this around. This was Roar, but we dropped Roar for, because it was the same timer. We have Mending here, and then we have Call or Chill, and then Blood. Now, I don't believe these two will actually get activated. I use these just here so I can easily swap these out and get that last spell to cast. We'll see what actually happens when we do this, since we did live change it here. Now we have Maul right here. Maul is actually special now. Primalist Synergy. So this passive ability grants your Maul combat abilities to trigger Primalist Synergy on all group members within a 100-foot radius, which increases the damage of 20 melee attacks by 6,000. So every time I maul, everybody gets 20 charges of an extra 6,000 on their melee and damage. Now, what does that include? That includes pets, that includes players. Everybody meleeing gets an extra 6,000 damage. So that's a lot of damage. You know, let's see. Let me do some pocket math here. 6,000 times 20. That is 120,000 extra damage just from that one activation. And like, I mean, let's do something here, right? Let's get my bard, and let's get this so we can kind of see this work in action here. So I'm gonna maul this thing once. That procs the synergy, right? So she has so many buffs. Primalist Synergy right there. It's 20 charges. Oh, that's my... Here we go. This one. This is the one we want here. Night Synergy. Primalist Synergy. 20 right there. Okay. You can barely see it in the corner there. See if we can make it. Oh, there we go, right there, 20. Now I'm going to turn on attack. I'm just going to hit Q. See how fast those went away? Like, that was crazy, right? If we look at like the damage, right? It's hard to tell because it just gets added to it. But you saw how fast that was. Now, what's the, like, let me go over here again. And what is the reuse time on this? So I click them all. That's a 30-second reuse. So every 30 seconds, I get an extra 120,000 damage to everybody in my group that does melee. So nice little demonstration right there. So that is what I call a DPS. That is DPS that gets added, you know, additive DPS from other people. I don't know what the official name is. That's just, I've heard it called ATPS. I'm gonna go with additive because that sounds like the best way to use it. But who knows? I didn't originally come up with it, so I don't know. But every time we do that, we trigger that. So we get, everybody gets it. So, and you saw how fast a dual wielding class can blow through that, right? Imagine a monk with actual, like, you know, melee prowess, right? This character here is going to burn through them just as fast because they're the same, you know, dual wielding kind of thing. And double attacks and all that. Pet's going to blow through it really quick, so it's really nice. There. Now, all of our other spells also got focuses, right? That'll just increase the damage. You can see here, all these have different damage increases and stuff like that. So, all right. So that's all those. And then we get into Attack of the Warder, which is another AA. And just summons a Swarm Pet to attack for a little bit. Chameleon Strike strikes your target with a hand-to-hand attack. Base damage 150. Reduces the hatred. So this is kind of like a Jolt-based aggro debuff. Pretty nice. Tempest Claw, which is an AA. Let's sort these by level so we can see these. So this is a timer 6 AA, or Discipline, that hits the targets in front of me with 3 targets in front of me with a flurry of melee attacks. So it's a cleave. Then we have Beastlord Elvising here. This is a timer 7, which does not seem to be replaced. I'm making sure I didn't forget this. But this increases my melee damage and accuracy of the warder. Then we have a Spiritual Frenzy, which is a AA that increases our melee speed by 100%, attack power by 550, and our weapon delay goes down 58%. And then we have Roar of Thunder. And I believe Roar of Thunder is the one, yeah. So Blarp told me that the Roar of Thunder does not stack with the disease baseline from the Necromancers and the, I believe Shadow Knights was the other one I looked up, and maybe Shamans too. I don't cast those, so I don't care for my purposes, but if you're in a raid or in a, you know, a group with, you know, a Necromancer and stuff like that, you would want to not use this spell. Because you're probably going to do less damage than a Necromancer would with this same ability. But something to keep in mind when you're grouped with other people. Bestial Alignment here. This turns us into a tree. Grants us a 275% melee increase damage. 45% chance to resist spells, and, you know, turns us into a tree. Or whatever your warder is if you're not a Wood Elf. Unfortunately, I picked Wood Elf because this character is a Wood Elf Druid and Dark Elf Magician. So I just kind of kept them the same. If I was going back, I would probably pick maybe Ixar or Ogre. But I don't know. I wouldn't want to be an Ogre running around all the time. Maybe a Barbarian. Just for some variety, but here we are. It turns into that. You can block the form. So here's like Bestial Alignment, and then there's a buff called Bestial Alignment Form. You can block it and never turn, but since I'm multi-boxing, I like to see when she is in a tree form, so I know, like, hey, maybe I should make her go melee because she's doing 275% extra melee damage when she's a tree, so it kind of helps for me that way. Then we have Warder's Gift. which will consume 15% of our warrior's health and heal us for 5,600. I do it on cooldown. I don't know, it's like just in case I don't have to heal anybody else, make sure I keep myself healed. Because I do take cleave damage and I do aggro mobs significantly, so it's something to always do. And then we have Critchin's Call and Glistening Blood. As I said, these are like not really in the multi-bind, they're just there for easy quick swapping. Because I don't believe they will get activated before these all refresh. But we'll try it here on a second and see, since we just changed all this live. We have Enduring Frenzy, which marks our target with a rune that gives them 150% chance to trigger, giving us an extra, what is that, 3,000 endurance? Now, this is a 5-minute reuse, and I'm doing it on cooldown now. I think long term I'm going to move this to more of a burn because the mobs just don't last long enough, and it's probably smarter inside of that. So that's going to be something we change up long term. But right now I'm not really focused on optimization as much as I probably should be. Then we have Frenzied Swipes, which reduces the reuse of our round kick by 4 seconds when activated, so we can get a few extra kicks out there. That's a 20-minute reuse. You could probably put that in a burn button, but yeah, you know my thoughts on that. Then we have Reflexive Sundering, which delivers a hand-to-hand attack, restoring large amounts of endurance to our group. Kind of like the Bard version, Reflexive, whatever it's called, Retort, that restores mana. This one restores endurance, so very useful there. So that's my multi-bind. Let's kind of just like, I'm going to push 5. That's the only button I'm going to be pushing as we go through this. So I'm pushing 5. So you can see there goes Fury. We go into Bestial form. All the AAs are activated at this point. So we can kind of see the spells one by one. Phalgia, and then Melasma up. Then we got Maelstrom. So Mending's up. And Mending's back up. So Mending is like instant recast, so pretty much all we're doing right now is spam healing, and that kind of works for the way I play, right? I don't feel like the Shaman has enough healing power to keep me alive in certain situations for my Shadow Knight at this point. There's some things that, you know, we're going to get to. Eventually we'll be able to outgear the content a little bit, and then it becomes easier, but having the extra heals from the Beastlord here as a secondary healer works really well, especially since the Warder is also doing the same proc target heals. While I'm doing, you know, fairly decent DPS and doing my DPS spells on cooldown. Now, if I wanted more DPS, depending on the mob, right, I just swap these in. So that's all I do, like this. And then that will get picked up in the next cycle through, because it just goes down the line and casts the spells. Whatever's up is up, gets cast. And all I'm doing is pressing 5. Everything's multi-bound to the same button, and the client decides which one gets activated. So there you go. Blood got done. So Blood's like an instant recast, so it's just like what it is. Now that's a dot, so it is ticking down, doing damage while I am doing all the other stuff. And that'll get refreshed, you know, probably here in the next 2 or 3 spells as it can, right? So there we go. This is going to be blood, probably. Nope. Got some other stuff. AAs are starting to come back up on, right? So you can see, like, having it there as a dot, you know, you kind of get that nice little damage over time. So it's pretty good in that regard. But, I'm only pushing 1 button. You can see my mana is just like trucking down. Like, this is a very expensive, a very expensive rotation, but that's the thing, right? Like, it doesn't really matter because this isn't normal combat. This is like a named mob. You can see here, I trucked this thing down. Like, I'm taking combat dummy health down. That doesn't happen too much. Like, this is, you know, I'm doing a lot of damage right now. But it is what it is. Like, but luckily we have Focused Paragon here, right? I can just focus myself, start getting my mana back, and whatnot. Why are you attacking? There we go. I guess those are barn bits. All right, so that's kind of like the multi-bind. There will be a follow-up video, like I've been doing, where I take everybody together and we go fight some stuff. We're gonna go to Frontier Mountains for 105 and kind of see how it is there. But we'll do that at the end of all this. Now, gear-wise, let's talk about gear. So currently, I'm wearing like terrible level 95 gear. I do have some weapons. I think these are from the Burning Lands. That are pretty good. But for the most part, it's out of date and it needs to be updated. None of my focus abilities are probably working anymore. So that's, you know, something we need to do. Focusing on gear-wise, gloves is going to be like probably number one. Because the cold focus there. Let's see here. There's no focus on that one. Let's see, poison-based spells on the bracer. And I don't even know how you get this second bracer. I don't know. Some of this stuff. I believe there's a disease ranged item. I think that's what it is. But for the most part, that's kind of like where you want to go with that. Weapons are going to be, you're going to want the 18 delay main hand. And I believe it's an 18 delay offhand also. You're going to want those, you know, really fast one-handed blunts. Something that, like, I mentioned Blarp because Blarp is probably one of the best Beastlords, and he gives a lot of insight into how to do it. But there is a spell that he told me about that the shaman can cast. I think I mentioned it last time. What is it called? Oh my gosh, what is it called? It's got to be one of these, right? I might not have it yet. There it is. Disempowering. This Feralenzia, what are line of spells? I think there's one at 105. It turns them into different like an animal, right? And I believe the 105 version that you get from whatever it is. I don't know why I don't have it. There's another version that I don't have, apparently, that gives bonus damage to one-handed blunt spells, or one-handed blunt attacks. So you're going to be wanting to, you know, probably rock 2 one-handed blunts on the Beastlord. I'm running, a one-handed blunt and one-handed blunt, so, you know, pretty good for there. You want to get whatever highest damage you can get with the lowest ratio. I mean, the lowest delay. So it's gonna work for you there. Let me think here. What else is there that we need to talk about? Gear-wise, like, that's pretty much gear-wise it, right? You want to, you know, the best you can get. Now, I'm gonna be trying to get this gear. This is what I'm targeting. This is the best 105 gear. In fact, this is the best gear until 110. The Weeping gear from the Burning Lands. It's better than Conflagrant gear, and it's kind of where I'm going. But it's kind of a pain to farm because it's from the Burning Lands. And if we look on the auction house, right, like, people are asking ridiculous prices for some of this stuff. So it's hard to get, but it is the best stuff you can get at this level. Another thing is, I believe I have it in my bank at 10. Yeah, here we go. At 106, I can switch to Conflagrant gear, which is, you know, fairly good. It's not as good as the Burning Lands gear, but it is, you know, pretty nice. And this stuff isn't too expensive, right? That one's, you know, 11,000, 10,000, 99,000. What is that? Flame Lever? What? What? Why do I have 120 mage arms in my back? Oh, I know why. Never mind. This character is a mage. Confused there for a second. What does she have here? Yeah, she has the tier 2. Alright, so that's what that is. So definitely, you know, something you can go for gear wise. The Empire's a Kunar gear, which is this stuff, is pretty good, but I'm just not getting enough drops to fill everybody's slots yet. But hopefully with the rare bonus going on and I can get these done, I can probably go get some of that going, but we'll see how that goes. But I don't think there's anything else I want to talk about right now for the Beastlord. Whatnot. It's a fun class. It does a lot of damage. If you melee, if you don't melee, you're losing out on a lot of damage, and that's kind of like the problem I run into, is that I don't get a chance to get her into melee range as much as I would like. Let's click that off. There we go. And that, you know, that lowers my damage. Now, I think as we get closer to 125 and, you know, work our way, you know, through Lorien's Song and the Outer Brood, the mobs will last long enough, hopefully, that it makes sense for me to get her into melee range. Right now, if a mob lasts less than 30 seconds, it's not worth my time to switch over and do it, because it'll just die before I can switch, you know, both the Bard and the Beastlord into melee range, and, you know, later on the Wizard and the Mage also. So that's just something to consider there. But that is everything. So if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And if you like the content, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. I don't ask very often, but I'm doing it in all these level 105 how I play videos. So questions or comments, let me know. Thank you very much for watching. Please have a fantastic day.